Meet the Cooler Master Masterliquid ML240L. Ugh, alright, if you're not tired of this naming scheme by now, then you clearly haven't been paying attention. In general, Cooler Master makes some great stuff, but does every one of their products need to be Master something? It's bad enough we get these cryptic alphanumeric surnames without also having to spit out Master bleh. I can't even tell what the products are half the time anymore. Okay, mini rant over. On to the actual product itself, which we'll just refer to as Masterliquid for short. This is basically a re-release of their base model Masterliquid Lite 240 with some RGB functionality added. I recently did an AIO shootout video where I looked at the non-light version and came away very impressed with not only price to performance, which was excellent compared to the rest of the field, but also just strict overall cooling capability. Hopefully that carries over to this model as well. Cooler Master has decided to RGBify its product offerings by redesigning the pump top and including two of its Masterfan RGB Air Balance 120s. They've also sleeved over the FEP tubing with this black braided material, making the whole package a lot more premium looking. The overall look is actually pretty clean and sophisticated, with the fan sporting nice black sleeving on the cables and the radiator and pump also coming in a flat black nice matte finish. One of the things I always like about Cooler Master's fans is that you have the option to control them with their proprietary controller or just plug them straight into the motherboard via a standard RGB header. The Masterliquid doesn't buck this trend and even comes with an Rgb Splitter cable included in case you only have one spot to plug in. You could also just use this tiny RGB control module, which will let you cycle through some colors and presets, but doesn't offer the same range of functionality as Asus AuraSync or MSI Mystic Lite would. The pump top now has an RGB element to it with a translucent Cooler Master logo cut in, but unfortunately this does mean one extra cable, as you'll now need not only a PWM connection, but also a lighting one as well. You can sync up You can sync up the pump and the two fans, and the lighting elements look like the rest of Cooler Master's stuff, which is to say, pretty nice. It's definitely not the brightest I've ever seen, but the center mounted LEDs on the fans do a good job distributing an even glow across the fan blades, which are frosted and help diffuse the color. Performance-wise, the Masterliquid RGB and previous versions both share the same in-house designed pump, which is a departure from what we see from a lot of Asetek partnered companies like Corsair and NZXT. They also have what looks like the same tubing system and radiator. However, the radiator is a bit thinner and less dense than other 240 AIOs, and this did hinder performance some. When strapped to my overclocked 7700K test bench, we were sitting around 34 degrees at idle and jumped up to between 72 and 74 degrees when at load. When compared to competitors like the EVGA CLC240 and the Corsair H100i, the Masterliquid doesn't quite perform as well, with thermals generally about 5 degrees warmer. As far as acoustics goes, I actually did note that these fans were a bit louder than the ones on the standard ML240, although with it mounted inside of a case, it's doubtful that a 3 decibel difference would have been audible for a user. However, I did turn them off for this video because you could clearly hear them on camera. The last piece of the puzzle, though, definitely justifies some minor performance shortcomings. This 240mm RGB enabled AIO sells for only $70. That's less than some single fan units out there and far less than other AIOs which I tested today that come in at about $110. That's a $40 difference for those of you playing along at home. And that makes a huge difference to many builders on a budget. So when you're piecing together a system build, what do you prioritize? Do you want the best cooling on the market, the most RGBs you could fit in your case, or do you just want something relatively inexpensive that still performs pretty well? I'm curious to get your take on this, so leave a comment down below. Also, don't forget to hit that little like button in the corner there and get subscribed to the channel if you're not already. As always, guys, thanks for watching.